Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. Well, welcome to week 14 Premier League predictions video. So let's go through the games first, starting on Saturday, a 12:30 kickoff, and that is our game, and it is Newcastle versus Manchester City. Following on then, we've got a run of 3 o'clock kickoffs. The next one is Burnley at home to Crystal Palace, followed by Chelsea at home to West Ham United, Liverpool at home to Brighton and Hove Albion, Tottenham at home to Bournemouth. Then the late kickoff, the 17:30 kickoff, is Southampton versus Watford. On to Sunday, we've got a 2 o'clock kickoff, which is Norwich versus Arsenal. Then another 2 o'clock kickoff, which is Wolves at home to Sheffield United, followed by two 16:30 kickoffs, the first being Leicester City versus Everton and Manchester United at home to Aston Villa. Well, as usual, we've got our guests on today. We've got Kiam, Martin, and we've got Ryan. So first off, let's listen to what Ryan thinks of his predictions.
Hello guys, this is Ryan with my predictions for game week 14. So I have gone Newcastle 0, Manchester City 2, Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 0, Chelsea 3, West Ham 0, Liverpool 2, Brighton 1, Tottenham 2, Bournemouth 1, Southampton 2, Watford 0, Norwich 1, Arsenal 2, Wolves 1, Sheffield United 1, Leicester 3, Everton 0, and Manchester United 2, Aston Villa 1. So I'll start with City. Obviously, we just had our very lackluster game midweek. Obviously, we're already through, so I don't think it really matters too much. Away at Newcastle, it's always going to be a hard game, so I doubt we're going to run away with it. But I think we should still be able to beat them comfortably, so I've gone 2-0. Burnley seem to be on a little purple patch the last couple of games, so that's why I've given them the 2-0 win this time. Don't think Crystal Palace will concede 3 like I think Burnley have scored 3 in their last 2. Chelsea West Ham, can just see that being a formality really. I think Pellegrini's probably due for the sack, and Chelsea could be the ones that put the final nail in the coffin. Liverpool beating Brighton. I don't think Brighton will challenge them that much, but I've said that last few weeks, and it's always been a tight game that they win near the end, so I'll go with that again. Win near the end. Tottenham Bournemouth. They're obviously still going to have their new manager bump with Mourinho. Bournemouth aren't doing too well in their recent record, I don't feel, so giving that to Spurs. Southampton seem to be having a little run. They easily deserve to beat Arsenal at the weekend, and Watford just haven't got going since, well, minus 18 goal difference, won 1 game all season, only scored 8, so I've gone with a 2-0 victory there. Arsenal versus Norwich, I almost didn't give it to Arsenal, but surely they can beat Norwich. Surely they can beat Norwich. You'd think. Wolves, Sheffield United, don't really have much to split the teams really. I think they've got a near identical record. I think Wolves are 1 point ahead, but they've scored 2 more goals, but they've conceded 4 more. I think that'll be a tight game, so I've gone 1-1. Leicester beating Everton. Everton seem to be in free fall. Leicester still going strong, so that's why I've gone with that. And Man United at home. Just give it to them since they're at home, really. But make sure you get your predictions in the Discord. And back to Andy.
Thanks for that, Ryan. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to take a look at what Martin has to think about this weekend's results.
Cheers, Andy. Martin here, Man City Fan TV. I hope we're all good. Hope we've all improved a little bit after a disappointing night on Tuesday. Well, let's go ahead and let's see if we can change things again Saturday. But here are my predictions. So I'm going for obviously the first one of the day. Newcastle 1, Manchester City 2, which obviously myself, Man City Man TV, will be at live from St James's Park, 12:30 kickoff. Looking forward to it. Early start, but yeah, I just fancy us just to nick this one. Just to nick it. I don't think we'll play great. I don't think we're playing great full stop at the moment. Yes, I am hoping for young Phil Stockport and Iniesta Foden to come in and play. I just think we'll have a touch too much for Newcastle, but I can never say we're going to keep a clean sheet anymore, because I just don't think we will. Don't think we're good enough anymore. The next game I'm going to look at is Burnley, Crystal Palace, and I've gone for a Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 1. Burnley are on a good run of form at the moment, and I didn't do so well with them last week, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 win, home win for Burnley, especially with us playing them Tuesday night. Next Tuesday night, I'm hoping they get the win this week and they're disappointed in midweek. But yeah, saw a start, but a little bit surprised. Wilfred Zaha scored his first league goal this season last weekend against Liverpool. So yeah, it looks like their key men aren't on form at the moment over at Palace, Roy Hodgson's team. But I just fancy a Burnley 2-1 home win there over at Turf Moor. Then we're going to go on to Chelsea and West Ham. This is going to be as comfortable home win as you're going to get. It really, really is. And I've gone for a Chelsea 3-1 win. I just don't see anything else. I've given West Ham a goal because I don't think Chelsea are great defensively. But Pellegrini, he's clinging to his job by his fingernails at the moment, and I don't think he's going to hold on much longer. And I think this will be the last game for Pellegrini, unfortunately. I think Chelsea will get back to winning ways after a good defeat against us last week. We put them to the sword. I love that one. Then I'm on. Unfortunately, I've got to go to Anfield now. Liverpool going to take on Brighton and Hove Albion. You know I like Brighton. I like Graham Potter's football. I just think it's Liverpool all day long. Liverpool all day long, yeah. I'm going for a 4-1 win for Liverpool. I don't see anything else. As much as Liverpool are not playing well, everything's going for them. Everything's going against us. I just see it now. I know they've got 12 games and 36 games coming up. Could that play a part? I don't know. This is the make or break time for the Liverpool, and let's hope it is break and not make. Looks like they had a couple of injuries with Fabinho and Van Dijk. Let's see how their injuries hold up now. But yeah, I don't see anything else other than a very comfortable home win here for Liverpool, 4-1 unfortunately. Then we're going to go over to the new White Hart Lane, Tottenham against Ryan Corrie's Bournemouth. And I've actually gone for a 3-1 win to Bournemouth. 3-1 win all day long. As much as I like Eddie Howe and I like him as a manager, I like the way he plays football. Good, attractive football, positive. I think Jose Mourinho is going to have the X factor. I think he's brought the spark back into Tottenham that they needed. And 3-1 to Tottenham. I don't see any other way really. Then I'm going to go over to Southampton 1, Watford 2. My first probably. Do you want to call it a shock? I don't really know, but yeah, just as much as Southampton seem to have got them dragged themselves out of a little bit of bother, they're still not getting the results that they need. Good point away at the Emirates last weekend, but everyone's getting points off Arsenal at the moment. Emery's another one on the cusp of losing his job. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to go for a Watford 2-1 away win here, and hopefully that gives me some points to move up the table. Then I'm going to go over to Norwich against Arsenal, and I have gone, as much as Norwich got an absolute fantastic result over at Goodison Park last week, I have gone for an Arsenal 2-1 win. Again, very simple. Arsenal like a Rolls Royce up front, Robert Ryan at the back. That's why I think Norwich will score. I think Arsenal are going to have too much for him up front. And simply because Emery's job is on the line. I can't see anything else other than an Arsenal win here. So Arsenal 2-1 win. over to Wolverhampton Wanderers against Sheffield United. I think this will be the most entertaining game of the weekend. Wolves, draw specialists at the moment, and then you got Sheffield United, who Chris Wilder's team are doing miracles at the moment. He's got to be a candidate for manager of the season, manager of the year, has to be, where he's got his team. Magnificent job. Surprised me. I thought they'd start going downhill, but they're not. They're going from strength to strength. Unlucky against, the advertising of the scaffolding over the road last week. But, VAR again comes to their, comes to their rescue last week. Got them a point that probably that they deserved, but being 2-0 up should have really put that game to bed. But yeah, that's why I fancy it a 2-2 draw over at Wolverhampton, because they are a good team, especially at home, Wolves. Then I'm going to go over to the big surprise package of the year, Leicester City, riding high in the table, are going to take on lowly Everton. Marco Silva, wow, he's another one. There's a few managers on this list that are struggling, really struggling, and I just fancy Leicester to give these a bit of a tonking. Jamie Vardy's in my dream team. I'm hoping for an hat-trick maybe. You never know. But yeah, Leicester City, comfortable 4-0 win here. Everton, not a chance. Marco Silva, you're going to the job centre, son. I hope you get a good job soon, but it ain't going to be at Everton for much longer. Leicester 4, Everton 0. Then going over to Manchester United at home to Aston Villa. As much as I don't want to predict a score here that will help them, I'm going to have to go for a home win here, just 2-1. I do like the way Aston Villa play football. Really good football. Attractive, positive. Another one that's coming to the league. No fear, no anything, and they've just gone at it, and they're enjoying themselves. And I think going to Old Trafford, the swamp, the scaffold advertising, Old Scaffold, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I just think if United were away, I'd go for a Villa win, but they're at home, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. And I think Ollie's another one that needs the points, needs the results. So yeah, they're my results, they're my reasons. Hopefully, I can get back up this table and do some damage. We never know. Back over to Andy. Cheers, guys. My name is MCFC TV. As always, up the Blues.
Thanks for those, Martin. Appreciate that, buddy. Now let's hand over to our FIFA presenter on Man City Fan TV, and that is Kiam.
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate you having me on again. It's game week 14, and so my Premier League predictions last week weren't the best, so I've got a little bit of making up to do this week. So I'm going to start with obviously the biggest game, Manchester City involved as always, and they are playing against Newcastle. So I've gone for a disappointing Newcastle 1, Manchester City 1. Now, we struggled there last season, and I think the crowd are going to be up for it again. I think the way we're defending at the moment isn't the best, so I think we may take a lead. I'm not sure who's actually going to take the lead, which way around it's going to go. I'm not sure whether we'll take the lead and then the crowd will get up and Newcastle will come back. I actually think it'll probably be the other way around. I think Newcastle will start like a house on fire. They'll get that early goal, or not so early goal, maybe just before half time. And then I think we might claw one back and get a draw out of the game. But I just can't see us winning. And unfortunately, that's not going to help us in the league table. Next game, Burnley against Crystal Palace. So I've gone for Burnley 2, Crystal Palace 1. I think Burnley at home are going to be too strong for Crystal Palace. They are the masters of the dark arts. I think they're going to be able to deal with Crystal Palace pretty easily. I mean, Palace will put up a fight, but I think Burnley will have too much for them. I've then gone on to Chelsea versus West Ham. I've said Chelsea 2, West Ham United 0. Chelsea playing some good football at the moment. They played pretty well at the Etihad last week. Played well against Valencia in midweek. That was a difficult game for them away at the Mestalla, and they came through it with a draw. I just think they'll be too strong for West Ham United. Pellegrini's struggling over there. Next game, Liverpool against Brighton. I've gone for Liverpool 3, Brighton 1. So, I think Brighton might score a goal because Liverpool's defence, even though they claim it is, the best defence on the planet, they have been conceding goals lately. They conceded one against Napoli in the week. But I think Liverpool's attack that never gets injured. We know the front three now. You can already predict their starting lineup. They will beat Brighton by 3-1. Tottenham 4, Bournemouth 1. I think the Jose effect is taking place. His little sort of, a bubble when he first arrives at a club and they have a bit of a run. I think that's what's happening at Spurs. They're going to win that one comfortably, 4-1. Obviously, Mourinho will eventually have arguments with everyone, the dog, the cleaner, the local shopkeeper, and everything will go wrong, but I think they'll do well this weekend. Southampton against Watford, I've gone for 1-1. I think it's going to be a pretty drab game. Southampton struggling, Watford struggling. I think they'll cancel each other out. It's going to be 1-1. I've gone for Norwich City 2, Arsenal 3. So I think that's going to be a bit of a goal fest at Carrow Road. Norwich are going to come out the traps, all guns blazing. I think Arsenal will probably have a little bit too much firepower, even though they can't defend. I think they'll have a little bit too much with Aubameyang, etc., and they will just pick Norwich in that game. I've then gone for Wolves 2, Sheffield United 0. Comfortable win for Wolves. I think Wolves are quite a steady team in the Premier League. That they're doing well at the moment. Sheffield United, they did well against Manchester United the other day, but in all honesty, they're not going to compete with Wolves. Leicester against Everton, I've gone for a comfortable Leicester 2-0 win against Everton. Everton are a complete shambles at the moment, and Leicester are on fire, so I think Leicester will comfortably win that game. Everton will not cause them any problems at all. And then the final game of the weekend, Manchester United versus Aston Villa. Ollie's at the wheel. I think they're going to win 2-1. I think United will actually beat Aston Villa 2-1, probably with a nice little home decision, a penalty, free kick, something along those lines will get them over the finish line in that game, but it'll be a tight one. But those are my predictions, Andy. Thanks for having me on, and good luck to everyone else with their predictions this week.
Thanks for that, Kiam. Okay, well, I'm going to go through my particular scores for this weekend's Premier League fixtures, week 14. And first up, we've got our game, which is Newcastle United versus Manchester City. Well, on the back of a good win against Chelsea last weekend. Well, we go all the way up to St James Park. Going to be a tough game. Newcastle have done okay. They're currently lying down in 14th on 15 points. Their last 5 games have been a loss, a draw, a win, and then last week they got beat. They're on a -9 goal difference, and they've had 20 goals conceded and only scored 11. And I think that's possibly their problem this season. But I think it's going to be a tough game, and I don't be surprised if it's quite tight for large periods of the game. But I expect City to come out on top in this one. So my prediction for this one is Newcastle 1, Manchester City 3. The next game is Burnley versus Crystal Palace. Two teams, if we take Burnley, who've done really well in the last couple of weeks. They lie in 7th place and really jumped the league on 18 points. And they last 5 record is a loss, a win, and a win. So 2 good wins lately for Burnley. Crystal Palace are down in 13th on 15 points. They're having a bit of a disaster time at the moment. In the last 5 games, a loss, a draw, a loss, and yet another loss, which, they've gone into free fall, and they're a good team, but I was still tossing up with this one, whether Burnley would walk away with this because of their last 2 wins. But at some point, I think Crystal Palace are going to get the rub of the green. I don't think they did last week. So I'm going to go for Burnley 1 And this is the game Palace get something out of it. Palace won. On to Chelsea versus West Ham. Well, as we know, Chelsea are doing very, very well. They're just behind us by 2 points. They're currently in fourth. Their last 5 games, a win, a win, a win, a win, and then the loss to us last week. But they look very dangerous in parts, and I am expecting Chelsea to win this against West Ham. West Ham, as we know, again, terrible form, down in 17th on 13 points. Their last 5 games, loss, a draw, and then 3 losses on the run. They're just struggling desperately. Hence why I think Chelsea's going to win this, and but I don't think it'll be a runaway win. I think Chelsea will win this 2-1. On to Liverpool versus Brighton and Hove Albion. Well, as we know, Liverpool are at the top of the table and on 37 points, and they basically a draw and 4 wins on the trot. I expect that to continue. However, Brighton, after having a couple of good wins, their last 5 have been a loss, a win, a win. The last 2 weeks have been 2 losses, which has sort of stalled their progress. But they are playing good football, and I think they might make this difficult for Liverpool. And I'm going to go for Liverpool, a narrow 3-2 win. On to Spurs versus Bournemouth. Well, the special one, the chosen one, the happy one, whatever you want to call him. Obviously got a win last week, and then we've got their last 5 games. He stopped the rot at least, a draw, a loss, a draw, a draw, and then that win last week. They're currently lying 10th on 17 points. And if we go over and take a look at Bournemouth, well, Bournemouth are in 11th. They're literally 1 point behind Tottenham. Their last 5 results have been a draw, a win, and then followed by 2 losses. I think this one's going to possibly be a comfortable win for Spurs, especially being at home. I think they're still in that mode of, a new manager and things like that. So I'm going to go for Tottenham, a comfortable 2-0 win. To round up the games on Saturday, Southampton versus Watford. Well, God, I'm not sure what this result's going to be. It's the 2 bottom teams in the table. Southampton at home, they're currently 19th on 9 points. Their last 5 games have been a draw, a loss, a loss, a loss, and a draw. Watford currently lie bottom on 8 points. That's a draw, a loss, a win, and a loss. So, God, I mean, take your pick. But I've got a funny feeling Watford might just go to Southampton, get a surprise result. Could see it being 1-1, but I'm going to stick my neck on the line and say actually Watford will have a good win there down at Southampton. So Southampton 1, Watford 3. On to Sunday, Norwich versus Arsenal. Well, I think Arsenal, even though they're in 8th on 18 points, something is just not right there. The fans are in disarray again, up in arms now. They want Unai Emery out, and I don't know. I think the club is just in complete meltdown, and I think they could, if they wanted to, they could have, if they changed their minds, go back to the days of Wenger, because at least he brought stability. They're 8th after 13 games, and their last 5 have been a loss, a draw, a loss, and a draw. So they've not had a win in 5 games. Norwich, on the other hand, down in 18th on 10 points. Their last 5 a draw, a loss, a loss, a loss, but they bounced back with a win last week. So for me, I think it's going to be a difficult game. Arsenal going to Norwich, and I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go Norwich 1, Arsenal 1. Wolves versus Sheffield United. This should be an absolute cracker. And if we have a look at Wolves to start with, well, they are now in 5th place. I mean, the 2 wins over the last couple of games have really propelled them up the table because they were sort of meandering in a 13th, 14th, 15th spot. They have played 13, they're on 19 points, and their last 5 games have been a draw, and then 2 wins. So they're unbeaten in 5 and playing really, really well. If we go across and we take a look at Sheffield United, well, we know, Sheffield United were in 5th. They're now dropped because of that draw. Great draw last week, but they dropped now to 6th. They're a point behind Wolves. Their last 5 is a win, a draw, a win, and then 2 draws. So I think this is going to be a very entertaining game, a tight game, but because Wolves are at home, I'm going to go Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Sheffield United 1. Leicester versus Everton is next. Well, Leicester, as we know, a point ahead of us in second. 5 wins. I mean, they're playing absolutely incredible. They're the most informed team out of the last 5 weeks. 5 Premier League games. They are unbeaten in 5 on 29 points. They've got a goal difference of 23, which is the same as us. And they've conceded the least number of goals, only 8 in the Premier League so far this season, compared to ourselves, who've conceded 14. Liverpool has conceded 11. So it's going to be, I can't see anything else, because if we take Everton down in 16, very in and out. They're on 14 points. Last 5 games, a win, a loss, a draw, a win, and a loss last week. I can only see one winner in this, and that's Leicester. And I'm going for Leicester 2, Everton 0. Well, and the last game then is Manchester United versus Aston Villa. Well, if we take a look at United, they are currently level on points in 9th with Tottenham on 17 points. Their last 5 games, mixed bag, a draw, a win, a loss, a win, and a draw. So very inconsistent in the league. If we were to take and have a look at Aston Villa down in 15th on 14 points, a win and then 3 losses, but they got a win last weekend, which gives them 14 points. So this one, I think, is going to be a tight game, a difficult game for United, and I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go Manchester United 1, Aston Villa 1. So if we were to take a look at last week's table and how it finished up, thanks to Ryan, who looks after the Discord Premier League predictions table. So here we go. Kiam on 70 points. Don't think he had his best of weeks last week, but he still leads. Baron's House on 62. Ryan on 58. Bernard Deneen on 54. Martin in 5th on 52. In 6th is Ethan Aspinall on 49. 7th is Section 20. He's on 47. Callum is on 46 in 8th. Sargent on 41 in 9th. I'm joint with him on 41, but I'm in 10th. Ace King is on 36 in 11th. In 12th, we've got Dank City on 34. Mingy Wong's on 33 in 13th. 14th, Alex is on 16. And then we, big gap then down to 15th, and Darren on 9. Ashkith on 6. 17th is Daniel De Bruyne on 6. 18th is Aguero's Cute on 5. True Blue 1972 is on 4. And bottom of the table in 20th is JK MCFC on 2. So all to play for. Long way to go. But Kiam, Man City Fan TV FIFA presenter, still top of the league. I'm still sticking in my 10th position. I'm currently like the United of the Discord Premier League predictions table. But anyway, if you want to join in, you can still join in. Go over to Discord and get your fixtures and scores in for week 14. But anyway, I want to say a massive thank you to the guys for coming on the channel. Thank you to Ryan for looking after the Discord Premier League. And guys, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. This is the Premier League prediction week 14 video. And come on, City.